Easy, delicious, flavor-packed, low-carb, high-protein is exactly what you get with my cheesy broccoli chicken casserole with flavor-packed tender pieces of chicken along with nutrient-rich chunks of broccoli, all smothered in a cheesy sauce that I've made healthier by adding in a secret ingredient. Hello everyone, I am Deborah. Welcome to my kitchen where I am showing you how to make healthier versions of the foods that we love. And today's recipe, you guys, it is going to be a crowd pleaser, I promise you. And it's so simple to make. Even those that are not accustomed to cooking, you guys, you make this and you will impress everyone if you put this dish in front of them. And that being a cheesy, creamy broccoli chicken casserole with just a few ingredients, you guys. In about 20 minutes, you have got yourself a winner recipe. Not only can you eat it for dinner and serve it to family and friends alike, but this will also be perfect for meal prepping as well. And as I mentioned earlier, the sauce I made even healthier because I made it with cottage cheese. Absolutely delicious. So you guys, without further ado, let's get right into this recipe and let's start by seasoning this chicken. So for my chicken, I always start with some avocado oil and I will rub a little bit of this on both sides of this chicken. I find that what it does is it helps the seasoning stick better to this chicken. And also when I fry it, it just makes for a nice seared piece of meat that is nice and tender and juicy. Now my go-tos for my seasoning is very, very consistent all the time, you guys. I've got some salt, some black pepper, and some garlic powder. Absolutely delicious and very simple. And it's typically things that you already have in your kitchen, in your cabinet. Garlic powder and some black pepper. And do exactly the same thing on the reverse side. Let's massage this in. And this chicken breast is ready for the stove. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over to my preheated skillet. I'm going to cook it for approximately 3 minutes per side. And when I come back, I'm going to show you how to put together this cheese sauce. To make our cheese sauce, we need some grated cheese. So in order to make quick work of grating this cheese, I've got this handy dandy little cheese grater here. Absolutely love this little gadget, you guys. So in goes our cheese. Turn the little wheel here. And as you can see, in a matter of seconds, we've got grated cheese. So I will continue to do this until I get the amount that I need for this recipe. So this looks like plenty that I need for this recipe. And of course, a little extra on the side for me to munch on off camera so you guys don't see me. So let's go ahead and set this aside and bring over my bowl that has the secret ingredient that I mentioned before that will make this cheese sauce healthier. And that being, I've got some creamy cottage cheese in here, okay, along with some sour cream. So obviously the cottage cheese is lower in fat, higher in protein. So this is our base, and I'm going to move the rest of the stuff off the set, and then we are going to finish putting this cheese sauce together. All right, everyone. So before we get into this cheese sauce, just wanted to show you this chicken is ready. So I'm just going to set it aside so it can rest. And then after I finish the cheese sauce, I'm going to cut this into chunks. Now back to this cheese sauce. As I mentioned before, I've already got in my mixing bowl, I've got the creamy cottage cheese and I've also got the sour cream. In order to get the cottage cheese nice and smooth and creamy, then you put it into, I have a NutriBullet. I'll put it in my NutriBullet. You can put it in a blender. You can use one of those sticks, okay, and just blend it until all the curds are gone. And you end up with a nice, creamy, smooth consistency. So to this, I am going to start layering in more flavor. So what I'm going to do is to this, I am going to add my cheese. Once again, I do believe I grated more than what I need for this recipe. Ooh, that's close, you guys. Go ahead and add this in. So it's going to be super cheesy. And I need something to mix this with. Combine. See how simple that was? Yeah, I know. Telling you guys, when you know the secret, everything becomes easy. Let's go ahead and set this aside. Okay. Next up is my broccoli. Okay, this is my broccoli. What I opted to do was to use a frozen bagged broccoli. And what I did is I put it in the microwave for probably about 2 minutes just to get the frost off of it. And then I put it into a strainer to let the liquid strain off of it. And at this point, what I need to do is just go ahead and cut it into smaller pieces that's more suitable for this casserole. Just slice it and just pull it apart. And that way you keep the actual floret kind of intact. It doesn't, shred. The same thing here. Slice it and pull it apart, all right? And I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the rest of these pieces. And this is what we have. Nice bite-sized pieces that are still intact, okay? That's why I cut them that way. So up next, we want to go ahead and season this broccoli. So in this container, I've got my seasoning. It is some salt, some black pepper, and some garlic powder. Go ahead and put that on top. This casserole is going to be well seasoned, you guys. You are going to absolutely love this. Next thing is I've got some diced red onion. This is totally optional, but again, it just adds the depth of flavor to this casserole. And combine. Smell that, you guys. Oh, amazing. Okay, set this aside. And up next is our chicken. So as I had mentioned before, we just let this chicken sit. That way all the juices could come back together into this chicken. And now it's time to go ahead and cut it into, sorry about that, you guys, cut it into the bite-sized pieces that we need. So let me go ahead and get a cutting board. And this cutting board, okay, has been thoroughly sanitized. Food safety is key, all right? You don't want to prepare a most delicious meal and everybody getting sick, okay, because you didn't follow good food safety guidelines in your kitchen. So let's just take a piece of this chicken and just go ahead and proceed to cut it. Just like that, to the size chunks that you want it to be in this casserole, okay? And pieces about this big will work quite well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue on with the rest of this chicken. And then when I'm done with this, I will show you what is next. All right, you guys, this looks perfect. So now that all of our main components are ready, we've got our chicken, we've got our broccoli, and we've got our cheese sauce. It's time to put it all together. All right, everyone, before we move on to putting all of this together, let me just give you one more food safety tip, and that is to use a meat thermometer, okay? So when I was cooking this chicken breast, what I wanted to do is to make sure that the internal temperature was 165 degrees. And matter of fact, there's a couple pieces that were just a little bit thicker than the others. So they needed a little bit longer. And I'm so glad that I had this just so I can check that internal temp. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is because we will be baking this, you may think, okay, well, we don't need to have it at temp. No, we need to have it at temperature, because the whole reason why we are baking it is not to cook the chicken so much, but just so that all of these ingredients can come together and all the cheeses, okay, and then the meat and the broccoli, all of it can just, come together into a cheesy, delicious casserole. All right, now having said that, another tip. Okay, let me go ahead and bring front and center my broccoli. Into it, we are going to add our chicken. And another note, you guys, before I move on, this broccoli seasoned to perfection. So if you want to make a side dish with broccoli and you just don't want plain broccoli, let me tell you what I did with this evening is absolutely phenomenal. So what you can do is you can take that frozen bagged broccoli, put it in the microwave for a couple of minutes, once again, just to get the frost off of it, put it in a strainer just to strain off the excess liquid, and then get yourself a frying pan, saute some onions, all right? And then put this broccoli in there with a little bit of butter and your seasoning. Again, I use the salt, the pepper, and some garlic powder, and to mix all that together. And you guys, a phenomenal side dish. So that's another, little tidbit that I want to give you this evening. So let's go ahead and mix this together and then add in our cheese mixture. You guys see this deliciousness? Oh my goodness, just give me a fork right now. That looks so good. Okay, now that this is ready, let's bring over our baking dish, which I have sprayed with some non-stick cooking spray because after all, there's cheese in this. All right, so let's go ahead and add this in. Spread it out evenly. And the next thing that we need to do is to top it with our Parmesan butter. Okay, let's set this aside just for a moment. I've got my shredded Parmesan cheese here. I've got some melted butter. Mix the two together. And this is our coating. That looks good. Bring this back over and just proceed to spread this evenly on the top of this casserole. Okay, you guys, that looks great. Now off to our oven this goes, preheated at 350 degrees, and we should give this probably about 20 minutes, but this will definitely let you know when it's ready because it's going to start to bubble and you're going to see all the juices coming up on the side. Yeah, you're going to know, you guys. So, and plus you're going to smell it too. All right, so I'll see you in about 20 minutes. Now that you've learned how to take some broccoli and some chicken along with a delicious cheesy sauce made with some high protein cottage cheese and put it all together, then keep watching to learn how to transform your diet, whether it's sweet treats or main dishes, into enjoyable, lower sugar, lower carb, more nutrient-rich recipes that even the newest of cooks can master with ease. So, if you want to eat your favorite foods but want to stay healthy, click here for my guilt-free versions of the dishes you love, packed with flavor but not the unhealthy stuff. I want to thank you all so very much for being here, and if you enjoyed this recipe, then please do me the honor of giving it a like and pressing the subscribe button below. And also, if you know anybody that would love and benefit from the recipes that I am bringing you here, then please do also share my channel with them as well. And as I always say before I sign off on this channel, it is a great day and you continue to make it your own kind of special. And this is hot, you guys, so I'm going to point at it and enjoy. I'll see you soon.